Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. A little bit later than I was hoping to get on, but here now, and I am trying to get everything finished up here for the season. I'm going to take a look at the grass as well. I have very limited playtime today. We've got some things going on in real life, so just trying to get this done, but secretly hoping that the grass is not yet ready today, that it'll be tomorrow, because otherwise I'll feel this pressure to try to get it done. But I'm thinking, unless something changed from what I remember seeing, that it'll still be in the same state here in March, and then it changes in April. So price is dropping a little bit, so that's why I was hoping to have been able to finish up in February, but was waiting for the last couple things of silage to finish. So I'm pretty sure we've got 5 or 6 loads. I don't think it's going to get me all the way to 600,000, but we'll see how that all pans out. But in general, just being as transparent as I can with kind of what's going on with everything. Certainly been less productive in getting things out on the channel a little bit. Just still kind of getting back into the swing of the world, coming back from vacation. And the other thing I'm working on is I'm trying to get good enough at sports sim to actually bring something useful to the channel. Right now I could share what I'm doing and the play I'm doing, but I'm doing miserably and not really competitive or anything. So it's just kind of that period of practicing and getting good enough at the game mechanics to consistently at least be average. Because right now I'm just abysmal, to be honest. Well, alright, there's more here than I thought. So maybe I will hit that number. I didn't think, although I think there was like over 100,000 in each, so I might have 3 or 4 loads per silo. Some lag. But servers behind, I don't know, 7 hours? Getting close to that, so it's not anywhere near midnight. It's early morning, but not that early either. So I was thinking I might be able to get on before it rolled over, because I did a good amount, probably the majority of my movement. I think I had about 350,000 in each silo that I moved over here during February. So was able to get probably $4 or $5 more per thousand than I am now. For example, the environmental score was like closer to 905 than 895. But obviously we can only do what we can do with real-time stuff. As far as any other progress, we've got no further information right now on generational farming. We're just doing our work here, which is perfectly fine. That's great. The one thing that I don't think I had shared, so I don't know, I'm hoping it's not going to turn into anything that impacts me, but certainly, given that I'm parking my equipment where I am, I don't think it will, because the way a possible random event that is pending out there has worked is, it's dry, and basically there's an increased risk of fire, and they talk about not parking hot equipment in the fields, which to me kind of implies if you leave equipment sitting in the middle of crop, like, you may lose all your crop because it burns down. But I think, grass would be a little challenging to burn, given that it's wet and it usually doesn't burn really well. It's not like I have hay or whatever. So I think there would be a little bit of protection there. Logically, there should be. And I'm also parking my equipment on dirt. So even if it's hot equipment per se, there's nothing there. And obviously, just kind of as I indicated with the storms or whatever it was that might destroy crops and whatever last time, that then had not occurred. It had passed to the north of us or whatever it was. Again, I just think anything that would damage buildings would be pretty severe. So I'm hoping we're not going down any path like that. I mean, I'm certainly in a better position now if somehow something happens, because I do understand, like, if we have tornadoes, I mean, they can come through and wipe something out, and you have to rebuild. But that's kind of the normal thing. There's not a whole lot of, unless the fire starts in the silo, which there's no game mechanic that logically makes sense here to have that happen. Because there's no way to, like, perform maintenance to try to make sure you're safe and that you don't have those things possible. But it's not like there's a whole lot of cases of fire swept through the community and destroyed all the silos and stuff that are kind of standing out in the middle of nowhere. It's one thing if I had them next to a house and the house caught fire and then it just jumped over to the silo or something, but I've got 3 silos standing out in the middle of a field, so they should be safe, is what I'm saying. But that's kind of the one thing that's pending. A lot of the focus of staff for FSN has been in getting the extreme realism servers going, and so most of the chatter is about that. I think they've got a lot of people moved in. It sounds like, I think they did like 15 servers, so if you get 6 people, to not overload it, but 5 or 6 people on each server, I mean, we're talking 50 to 90 people that might be interested. And again, I assume there's some capacity built in there as well, so that they are probably not chock full of people, but it certainly is a higher number than I had expected, because it's just not a style of play that greatly appeals to me. To me, it's one of those, like, if I do that, I would do that in single player and do that as a series that way, because I could go and do it when I was in the mood for it. To me, that is not something that I'm excited about doing in Farming Simulator. I don't need everything to be very, very tedious and a crazy challenge. I like it the way it is. I mean, this is enough of a challenge with what we've got here. But because I'm working on spending a lot of time trying to get that sports sim done, the other farm I could have gotten on. I think I missed my planting window. I kind of peeked at it, and at one point it was already April on the server, and I'm like, I either have to do it today, and I didn't have time, and frankly desire to do it that day. So I think I'm letting that farm kind of go for another year, and then I'll pick that up next spring. There is what I'm thinking at this point, with the hope that I get good enough at what I'm working at with the sports sim in that time that then I can kind of pick things up, because if I can make that other thing work, that'll create a lot of content for things, because it's something that I can go through pretty quickly, as you might imagine. With anything like that, you've got the events that you're playing and so forth, and the games that you're playing, and then you can move on. And again, I get, it'll be an audience that likes that sim. Might not be the same people that like Farming Simulator, but once again, Obviously I like both, so there's probably at least one other person in the world on YouTube that is the same way, and so I'm using the same philosophy I use as the guiding principle for the channel, which is I'm doing the work, I'm playing the game anyway. It's not much of a challenge to record and then just share what I was doing, and whoever views it. And hopefully I bring a little bit of entertainment to somebody, and that's all I can really ask for. Alright, well, we have broken that $600,000 mark, but as you've seen, I've got a couple, I've at least hit one silo where I wasn't getting anything, a full trailer out of it. Thoughts not coming together clearly this morning, so sorry for fumbling around in the word salad there to find what I was actually trying to say. So I think I've got maybe one or two more loads. I don't remember if I finished this one or not. Yep, I clearly did. So let me see. Because, yeah, as you figured out, I kind of prefer to go in this way and then come out where it's a little flatter on the edges. But obviously, if I don't get a full load out of this silo, which I'm thinking I will not, I'm going to turn around to go back to silo 1, and then I'm kind of lined up to go through that bit of a rut by the road where things rise a little bit more because of the unexpected terrain differences that were there. So, well, maybe I will have a full load here. So, but at least now I know silo 2 there is empty. So I would think at this point I'm probably just grabbing what's left, if anything, in silo 1, and then we'll just have to empty silo 2, and then we'll be set. And then we'll go check the grass. Feeling good now that I'm finally operating in this generation here, kind of as where I'd expect. This year was still thrown off by the fact that I missed most of it because I was gone in real life, so it just has always felt a little bit off kilter. I started this season knowing that I was getting really close to being gone and doing a partial year then, and then obviously came back the next year as a partial year. So definitely looking forward to a full year. All right, nothing there, so whatever's left here is all we got. And it might still be another full load in a bit, but we will see. And then I'll just drive on over to, just 10,000. So we are now empty, so everything that we have had is now processed. So certainly not a terrific outcome just from the raw state of I've got 2 years in on this generation now. We're starting the third actually today. If you think about it, it's spring, so we're an hour into the third year. And we only have 618,000, so I think that's decent. If we take a look here, I'm certainly doing well, at least cash-wise, amongst the server mates. There's definitely been folks who have expanded around, and there's enough complexity now with what's happening that any speculation on my part of kind of what their MO and plan of attack is would be just that. So you can see purple is kind of growing. Yellow is going around, snapping up a few things. Even blue's gotten a little bit bigger from where they started, which was kind of up here. So there's definitely expansion going on for most people. Again, I've just kind of got the time I've got, and as I said, if people outwork me, they're going to get ahead. I just think some of the folks are doing, they're doing stuff. We still have the sheep and the chickens here. I think, this is a grass field for yellow down there. Obviously, purple has got some additional structure there along with what they have there. So there's a lot of buildings and things being placed, which I'm just not sure. I'm sure enough from my end that I'm not going to be doing anything, because you're just sinking cost in there, and you've got to start making money. All right, so here we go. We're still on 3 of 3. So what I was hoping for is the situation. And so again, like potentially if I left this tractor here now after it's been running for 20 minutes or whatever it took me, and it's heated up, potentially whatever that random event is that may or may not occur, I could be subject to it, because I'm in essence parked out in the field with hot equipment. But like I said, I think if I go and put it where I've been putting it, which is just pop it here on raw dirt, unless it's some crazy fire, I should be okay. Oops, I always disconnect the hoses. I've been doing that lately, and again, it's been off camera because I've had a few days of work off camera, but I'll like disconnect the hoses and then forget to disconnect from the equipment. So kind of keep having that cycle. But this is where we sit in essence at the end of year 2. So just wanted to pop in, give you a brief view of where things stand so that you can continue tracking my progress here in generational farming, and I will see you next time.